Okay, Dear Prudence by the Beatles from 1968. The Beatles, the White Album. Been meaning to do this for a long time, finally worked it out, and here's how you can play it. So we're in drop D for this. String 6 is tuned down a whole step or tone to the note D, an octave below string number 4. Okay, that's our tuning. We're going to start with the picking pattern here because that really is the characteristic sound of this song. So the setup is first with the thumb. Now, as I transcribed it, the thumb is going to be picking the beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can see, the thumb is starting on string 5, not string 6. You might expect it to be on 6, but it's always going to start on string 5, and this pattern I'm about to show you will be the majority of the song. So it's 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4. When we hit string 5, you're going to hit string 1 at the same time. Okay, every time that comes around, you hit string 1. I'm going to use my middle finger. You could use the ring finger, but I prefer to use index middle with my picking patterns. So it's 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4. That's the first thing. Get that nice and comfortable. Then immediately after you pick 4, you're going to pick 3 with the index. 5, 4, 3, 6, 4. 5, 4, 3, 6, 4. Adding in the next note immediately after 6, you would pick 2. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2. I'm using the middle finger to pick 2. Then the final note will be string 4. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4. This is tempo 1-4-8. Do be working with the metronome as much as possible to get yourself up to that target tempo. Coming now to the intro chords, which happens to start just at the end of Back in the USSR, and you can just hear it kind of behind the sound of the aeroplane. We're going to be up in the 12th fret. Finger 1 is B12. I've got finger 2, G14, finger 3, E14. You could call this a D6. Every chord name I'm going to present here will have D as the bass note because we're always going to be picking that string 6 with the picking pattern. So D6. For 1, count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to take that shape down a whole step to 10, 12, 12. You could call that D sus4 add 9, should you wish. Then, that's one measure, then you're going to go mini bar in the 10th fret across E and B strings and 11th fret with finger 2 on the G for a nice D chord. There's a D triad up on those 3 strings in a first inversion. Then you're going to take that shape down 2 frets for what would be a C triad but over those open strings. Call it a C6 over D. And you're going to go to a G triad, which is your D shape up 5 frets, 3, 4, 5. You could consider that G there as the root note there. So that's a G triad. But again over those D notes, so G add 9 over D, you could say. Then we're going to go to a mini bar in the 5th fret, so it's 5, E, 5, B, and 6, G for an A triad. In a first inversion. Again over those open strings as we add in the picking pattern, so you can call that A over D. The penultimate chord before we get into the D in the open position is this, which is a C, E, G. That's a C major triad in a root position, so it's G5, B5, E3. Again over those open strings, so you could call that a C6 over D, the one should you wish, and then it's going to end in the open D. So it's 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, C. And you stay that C for 2 measures, and then you're into the main part, the main progression. So here's that intro in full with the picking part at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Main progression. Intro at tempo. 1, 2, 3, and. Then we're into the main progression, the bulk of the song, 10 seconds. This progression is going to be D for 1 measure. Then what we're going to do is add in the C in the 3rd fret of the A string. How I do that is I bar down across strings 1, 2, 3 in the 2nd fret with finger 1. I use finger 3 on the B string at the 3rd, and then I'm going to use finger 2 upon the C note. I'll take you through a couple of options in just a little while. That's how I prefer to do it. Careful as you do this, because with the picking pattern in, you need to make sure that open strings 6 and 4 continue to ring out. You've got to get a nice rounding of that finger to make sure you're not muting any of the strings. So it's D. Adding in that C, you could say it's D7. Then you're going to take finger 2 onto E2, high E string at the 2nd, and then finger 1 comes onto the B. We've opened up the G string for what you could say is a G major 7 chord. It's going to be over the D bass. And then we're going to take that B, flatten it for the B flat. Or you could say G minor major 7 over D. Main progression at 70 BPM. Here we go. And it carries on. Now you see how that fingers 2 and 3 sort of stay put as you come back into the D. The alternative for that is to a couple of options actually. You could bar the D chord and have finger 2 loose. So I'm setting up early for the bar, and then you've got finger 2 ready for the C bass note, and then do as I just showed you before. Alternatively, you could do a 1, 2, 4 for the D. A bit quirky, but it might suit some. That leaves finger 3 free to fret the C note. So there's no need for the mini bar. And then from here, you're keeping fingers 2 and 4 as they are, as you use finger 1 to grab the B and then drop that for the B flat again. So these 2 fingers will never move. So that's the main progression, and that's how the verse starts at 17 seconds. Dear Prudence, dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? It carries on. You're going to do a total of 4 times. So you've done the main progression 4 times, and then you get the sun is up, the sky is blue, and that is when you do it once more in full. Sky is blue. Beautiful, so are you, dear Prudence. we've hit the C bass, and then we go to a C chord. Just a standard C major. We're not going to hit string 6. This is where the picking pattern will change. We're going to go 5. So it's 5, 4, 5, 4 with the thumb, but the fingers stay as they were. So for one measure, and then you're going to go up to this. It's a kind of a G chord. It's the E shape of the G major bar, but without the full bar shape. So it's A5, D5, G4, B3, and E3 mini bar up on the top. So G over D, and the picking pattern was the same as for the C chord. So C, G, D, and then there's a little break, and you do the main progression again. So once again, the verse part, you do the main progression a total of 4 times, and then this is the second half of it, a tempo. Here we go. Back to the main progression. Dear Prudence, and then you're into verse number 2. So verse 2 at 102, it's the same as verse 1. So that main progression 4 times, and then the second half at 128. The wind is low, the birds will sing. You are part of everything, dear Prudence. And again we have the C. Won't you open up your eyes? Bridge 141. So the bridge part, the picking is still the same, but what we're going to do up on the top strings, we're going to do some triads. I love me some triads, you should know that if you've been with me for any amount of time. So we go from a D chord, then we go to the G triad, so mini bar E3, B3, G4. Then you're going to take that shape up then to the A. It's 5, 5 and 6 on the G. With the picking part of look around, so you do that twice, right? And then 159, we've got look around. Now the bass part is playing the F, A flat, G, D, but the guitar part doesn't, and this is really clear on the recent re-release with the demos that they did. But there's a demo with just the guitar and the drums, and you can clearly hear the guitar does not deviate from these open strings. So it goes F, this is at 158, so and you're back into the main progression. So it's the F, there's one in the first fret, always this same shape. Then you go up to the 4th fret, and you go down the tone, down and fret into the 3rd for a G triad over the open strings. So let's put that together from the bridge. This is 141, so you're going to do that. You're going to do it 3 times, and then the change. Look around. And again. F, A flat, G, A. Back into the main progression. Now what you could do, if you're not feeling those open strings, that do sound a bit off really. What you can do, you can add in the bass part to string 6. So you can add in. You can give yourself the full chord So you've got the mini bar shape for the F, you know, F mini bar, switch 3 for 4, and then use finger 3 on strings here. And you can alternate the thumb just slightly, so you go 6/4, 6/4. If you wish to do so. I'll do that again, play that a bit better. Otherwise, if you want to be super authentic to the original, pedantic like me, then you keep those open strings ringing. You know, it's easier. Verse 3 at 211, exactly the same setup as before, 4 times the main progression, and then the clouds will be a daisy chain, the clouds will be a daisy chain, smile again, dear Prudence. Again, C, G, C, S, and then we're into the bridge, right? Bridge into the ending. At this point, we start strumming the chords. The progression remains the same initially, but then we start strumming. So it's going to be something like this. So there's just an earlier change. It's not quite on the beat, it comes on the end. 248 you do it once, and then you do it another 4 times. 4. And then we get the final, the sun is up, the sky is blue. At this point then, you're giving each chord 2 measures, and it's very much a 1 and a 2 and a 3. No, it says 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Alternatively, it gets very strummy towards the end. Let's play from 318. So we're ending on the D, and then we go. So after all that strumming, you end it on the D, and then we've got that tail off, you know, the verse ending part. C, G, over D, D. Ending into at 3:38 is the same as intro. E, C, G, A, C, C. End on the open D chord. Give it a nice big strum. And that's Dear Prudence. So there you go, Dear Prudence. If you did enjoy that, please don't forget a thumbs up and do subscribe if you're new to the family. If you would like a copy of my transcription of the song, you can get it in PDF and Guitar Pro format as a member of my Patreon group, where you can help support the channel and get exclusive bonuses just like that for as little as $3 per month. You can find out more about that via the link in the cards or in the description. Otherwise, if you'd like to help support my work here, you could do so via my online shop. I have a couple of video courses and some ebooks available for sale over there. The link again is in the description. Whilst you're there, don't forget to pick up your free copy of Fretboard Mastery, my guide to learning the notes of the fretboard in just a few days. Thank you very much, you take care, and I'll see you soon.